This is Skyblock. In Skyblock, you spawn on one central island with an oak tree and a chest. This chest has the items in it to make a cobblestone generator. It has a piece of sugarcane, a sea pickle, a glowberry, and then 10 obsidian, and that is all. Surrounding you on the spawn island are a whole bunch of different islands for each biome, and every structure that is in Minecraft is also somewhere here in the void. It's fairly challenging to try to survive in Skyblock, but I'm going to do my best to try to survive 100 days in hardcore Skyblock. Let's see how far we can get, and of course everything begins on day 0, which is obviously the actual first day when you spawn into a Minecraft world. So on this day, it's fairly straightforward. I kind of just looted the chest, made the cobblestone generator with the piece of ice and the lava bucket in the chest, punched some of the tree, didn't want to destroy it all because I didn't want the saplings to fall into the void. Wanted to make sure I had a big enough platform to get all of the saplings, mined cobble for a little while, upgraded my tools and whatnot, and I made some slabs and put them around my spawn area, making sure to put them at the lower slab level so no mobs can spawn. I also put slabs under the island so I can collect all the dirt. Dirt is really valuable in Skyblock. You don't really get all that much of it just straight off the rip, so you have to be a little bit creative with how you use dirt and how you duplicate it in the world. So then the following day, day 1, I started my first farm. All right, your boy got some food. I gathered the rest of the tree. There was enough area now where I was comfortable gathering the rest of the wood so the saplings could fall. Got 1 sapling, so we're good. We can continue this video. I gathered some more cobblestone, and then I made a small area for mobs to spawn a little bit away from me in hopes that the morning would burn them and I can get some drops. But on day 2, it did not work. So most of them despawned throughout that night, so I kind of just spent time gathering a bunch more cobble, trying to prepare for a bigger mob farm. After gathering cobblestone for a little while, I decided to start building that farm. It's not too big, it's very, very starter worthy, but I did forget to spawn proof the roof. So I'm way too scared to go try to, fight all those mobs off. I'm gonna wait until the next day, and we're gonna fix that. But speaking of the next day, day 3 was super boring. I literally just mined cobblestone, I think, for the entire day. So not too much to say about that one. Day 4, though, was pretty eventful. I nearly got smacked up by a phantom, and I only really survived this encounter because the trees acted as good cover. But other than that, I kind of just gathered cobblestone as well. The early days in Skyblock are very much a grind for cobblestone. And that continued into day 5. I would check the mob farm every so often after I fixed the whole roof problem. I then got bored of gathering cobblestone, so I started making a circular platform around where I spawned. And now on day 6, for some reason, the only footage I have of this day is me making a dirt rectangle. And my plan for this was to try to spread the 1 grass block I left to that dirt rectangle in order to make it all grass and hope to get some sheep to spawn or some other kind of mob. I ended up not doing that, which you'll actually see on the next day. But before I get to what I did with that rectangle, I know you guys are definitely dying to know. I finally learned how to make an infinite water source with just 1 bucket of water. You can kind of use this little T formation thing. The block in the middle is 1 higher. You bone meal it, and I guess somehow you get infinite water. I don't know, but it worked. Also, I got my first bow. That's a pretty big accomplishment. You can fight things from afar now. And then finally, I know you guys are all waiting, I used that dirt rectangle just to make a bigger farm. It's shocking, I know. And then day 8 just had to happen, all right? So after surviving a full week without spruce wood, I just couldn't do it anymore. Today was the day that I would brave the void, and I bridged all the way to the spruce island. It's very terrifying to do this. I made it there safely, though. Got a decent amount of dirt as well, but most importantly, I returned with the best wood type in the game, the beloved spruce wood. It's just so good. And then planting that first Giga Chad spruce tree, it felt so good. Day 9 was a weird one. I don't really have too much footage from this day, and the footage that I do have, I'm not really doing anything. I'm kind of just wandering around my platform. I don't know. I guess just being stranded alone on this island in the sky for like 3 hours is finally having an effect on me. We're just gonna kind of go by this one quickly. Day 10 to 11. For the next 2 days, I mainly just ran around gathering wood and cobblestone, trying to prepare for my starter house build. And of course, I'm going through checking the mob farm until I finally had enough string to make a bed. This was a huge occasion. Your boy could finally sleep after 11 days, technically 12 because day 0 counts, stranded on an island by myself. Day 12, I started working on the starter house with all those materials that I've been gathering the last couple of days. I messed around with the floor plan for a little while until I had a shape I was comfortable with. I'm very indecisive when it comes to building, so this took pretty much the entire day, I'm not gonna lie. And then for the next bunch of days, days 13 to 17, I just built the house. I think the house looks pretty swell. Don't know why I said swell, but I did. Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty decent starter house with my limited materials. Of course, I would want to put way more detail on this. I love using leaves in my builds, but don't have shears. so that'll have to come later. But when night came on day 17, felt great, was finally able to sleep in my own home. I was so happy day 18 that I was able to do that, I even zoomed in on my face. I know, it's crazy. But I then decided to throw on shaders, just to look at what I had built, and I keep these shaders on, you know, for the rest of the day. I ended this day by making a small farm connected to the house, just expanding my wheat collection so I can make some bread, have some wheat if I ever get cows and stuff. Day 19, this took kind of the whole day, but I moved all my stuff into the starter house, and then I decorated a little bit. Obviously, it's not crazy decoration, I don't have too many blocks. Would love lanterns, but again, don't have iron. But then I started taking down the mob farm because in these next couple of days, I want to work on making a much bigger one. I had a grand plan for how I wanted the area to look. I wanted that main small circle I made just to have my starter house on it, and then I was going to make a much larger circle connected by bridges to the main one in the middle. So I wanted to start preparing for that ring that I was going to be building later, so for the next 2 days, I just gathered cobblestone. Day 22, I finished taking down the old mob farm, and then I started making those cobblestone bridges I was talking about before, extending away from my spawn circle. On day 23, I just continued making those bridges. I made 4 in total, and then I started working on the giant circle on the outside. I checked in replay mod to see if it looked alright, and I think it looks passable. Then the following day, made another circle around that one. A lot of circles going on. I know, your boy's really into geometry, I guess. I definitely nearly said geography there. That would have been weird. But I think this second circle looks very alright. It's not perfect, but I will take it. And then the rest of this day, I kind of just gathered more wood and cobblestone in preparation of making the bigger mob farm. And then the next 5 days, days 25 all the way to day 29, and through that day, I started working on the new mob farm. And I actually end up making 2 here just to kind of, you know, increase my rates, but I extended out an oak platform from, you know, that bigger circle I made, and then I started building the actual farms out of spruce wood. I just went with like the traditional mob farm design. I shrunk mine down a lot just to conserve on some resources. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. But then while building that, I came across my first signs of another human, though I can't help but feel responsible for his fate. I'm sorry that had to happen. It's tough. I feel bad for the llamas, but you know what? We're gonna move on. We're gonna persevere through this one. Day 30. Definitely one of the biggest days so far. I started testing out my new farms once they were finished, and I found a zombie villager. This is massive. Now, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen my regular hardcore survival series, I call villagers gym. There's no real reason for it. It just kind of fits, I guess. So I carefully extracted this gym and locked him into a boat for safekeeping because he's going to be very important. Then day 31, I guess my pinky was just feeling a little weak, so I thought it would be a good day to bridge to another biome. Chose dark oak because it's another really good wood type, and I wanted to incorporate it into the build that I had in mind to surround my mob farms. So off I went, yoinked all of the dirt as well, and got myself a few saplings, so we're good. Adding another wood type is massive. The following day, I just expanded my food supply by making a new wheat farm, and also spotted another man, but I didn't want history to repeat itself, so I just left him to his own devices. He could just despawn. It probably way better than falling into the void into nothingness. But I finished off that day by starting a new area to plant trees. After that, on day 33, decided to move Jim to a better location, keep him way more safe, and I started working on the outline for the build that will go around the mob farms. The following day was rather uneventful. I kind of just gathered wood. The build I had in mind required a lot of wood, so I just wanted to gather a crap ton of it so I didn't have to come back and do it while I was building, and I also finished off the new wood planting area. It's a lot more space, and I think it looks a lot nicer. Day 35 was a colossal day. I got a potato from a zombie and immediately went to increase my potato stonks. Just a huge day. Dude, potatoes are massive. Just any other crop would have been really big here. Just having a better food source than bread. I'm pretty sure potatoes are better than bread. I guess don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly certain that's a thing. But even if the saturation and stuff isn't better, you can just get way more potatoes than you can wheat. So it's just a no-brainer to move to potatoes here. Though I still think I eat bread for a little while, but it doesn't matter. And then that night, same day, found another zombie gym, which is just huge once again. So now I just needed a witch and some gold nuggies, and I can make a regular gym family. But before we get to that, I need to focus on the building that's going around the mob farm. So the following couple of days, I didn't really do too much aside from gathering materials. And then obviously I did all this while harvesting and replanting my fields just to make sure my food is looking good. And then we spent a good while, the next Minecraft week essentially, I just went to work, building something to go around the farms. My idea is that I wanted to have a bunch of like connected buildings looking like houses going all the way around that exterior circle. I think that could look sick with like maybe a couple gaps in there as well to lead to different neighborhoods or whatever. I think that could look really nice. And in Minecraft, like building is my absolute favorite thing to do. So I wanted to challenge myself and I wanted to make sure this world looks good. I didn't want to just make things that were just functional and looked really gross. Like I know I could have done that and I probably could have saved a whole bunch of time on this, maybe even made stuff more efficient. But you know what? All right, it's my video, okay? I make the rules. I just want this world to look nice. And after finishing like the facade on the outside of the mob farm, it was day 46. I decided to kill a whole bunch of mobs until I got a witch. Trapped that witch in a boat, and then I prepared to go to the nether because the final thing we needed was some gold nuggets. Now the nether experience in Skyblock is definitely different from the nether experience in regular Minecraft because the nether is also a void. It's the same exact thing as the overworld. One positive, I guess, here is that stuff doesn't really spawn as often, and it's way easier to like manipulate spawns of things, which is what I tried to do on this day. I tried to make a nice platform so I can get some pigmen up there to drop the nuggets. I don't know if there's another way to get gold. This is just, you know, the way I thought of. I killed a couple pigmen, but didn't really get too many nuggets. Day 48, just killed pigmen all day, but the spawns were kind of terrible. I noticed that throughout the day. But in my head, we were chilling, right? I thought I only needed 16 nuggets. We're having a great time. So I wasn't too stressed about it. Come day 49, I continued killing the pigmen until I got the 16 nuggets. I went home, tried to make 2 golden apples, and I came to a realization that saddened me. You need golden ingots to make golden apples, not golden nuggets. 9 golden nuggets makes 1 ingot. So we needed way more than 16 golden nuggets. I was visibly very sad. So then I started caring about the rates of the pigmen spawning. I gathered cobblestone the rest of that night to make the platform a lot bigger, which I ended up doing on day 50, made the platform way bigger. The spawn rates were so much better, and I kind of just killed pigmen and a couple piglins all day. Did this through about like half of day 51, and then I was able to finally make the 2 golden apples. And then I embarked on the very tedious task trying to get the witch to throw a weakness potion. Now for those of you who are like myself here on day 52, who do not know how witch mechanics work, a witch has a 25% chance of throwing a splash potion of weakness if the player is 3 or less blocks away and does not already have the weakness effect. So since I was an idiot, I was very unaware of this. I just kind of knew that witches could throw this potion. I was kind of just running around back and forth, just trying to get it to happen randomly, but I don't really think I was necessarily close enough. And I also was not aware of the condition for a witch to throw a potion of poison. So a witch throws a splash potion of poison if the player's health is at least 8 and is not already poisoned. Now this is a little deceptive, right? It doesn't mean 8 hearts. It means a health of 8, which is actually 4 hearts. Another thing I didn't really know too well, but you know, you kind of figure it out along the way. So I'm pretty sure you need fewer than 4 hearts. But I don't think any of the times I triggered the witch to throw a potion, I satisfied the necessary conditions. I continued this for day 52 and 53, trying to get the witch to throw a potion of weakness. And then suddenly, I saw the potion of weakness. It happened. I had completed the conditions, but it didn't hit the villagers. This is one of the most frustrating moments I have ever had playing Minecraft. But then disaster struck. I, for some reason, tried to like jiggle peek the witch. I don't know what I was doing, and I died. That's right, I died on day 54 of Hardcore Skyblock. I really wanted to change this video and make it that I just spent 100 days in Skyblock, like not make it hardcore, maybe at this point switch it over to regular Minecraft and just continue the video that way. But I didn't want to do that to myself. I wanted to set this challenge. I really wanted to see if I could do it. I might be back to do another Skyblock video down the road, but this seems really difficult to do, man. Witches are no joke when you don't have armor. But I guess if you have any tips on how I can more easily get the witch to throw the right potion, please let me know in the comments. That would be much appreciated. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I didn't get too far. I'm sorry for that once again. I'm pretty bad at this game, but whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.